when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them.
Right, and those are the years we're in right now. When the years draw nigh, that I have no pleasure in them. Because basically, all the extra money that people used to have so they could have some type of pleasure, go on a vacation, or, you know, even just to go out to the happy hour and get a couple drinks, that's even like a burden now. Because since all these fees are being incurred, since the gas is going up so high, that's taking away people's little extra money, play money they had. Or you might have had a little extra money to hit the bar up and maybe get you a little outfit. You barely got money to even buy yourself a pair of kicks now, because all your money is being spent on the high-ass electricity bill, the high-ass natural gas, or if you got heating oil, that, or if you go into the pump to buy crude oil for your car, you're paying out, shelling out extra money for that. It used to be for like a Honda Accord or like an Acura Legend or something. It used to cost about 20 bucks to fill up. 19, 20 bucks to fill up like a Honda Accord. Fill up like a Legend, a little bit bigger tank, like a little over $20, maybe $23, $25 maybe to fill up the tank. Now it's like, to fill up the tank now it's like $40-something, like double that.
I gotta pay $50.
$50, $45 to fill up the tank of those same cars now. That's because of the prices being bumped up with the fuel and all of that. That's because that's what this devil is doing. That's again that pressure from above and pressure from below. That's what this devil is doing. Read.
While the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened.
While the sun or the light or the moon be not darkened. It's dealing with the knowledge. Because there's going to come a point in time when the Lord is going to cut this thing off. Being out here on the street and having shows up on the net, all that's going to be cut off, man. That's going to be taken down. So that's why it says, while the sun and the moon be not darkened. It's dealing with knowledge and it's dealing with wisdom. That's what we're putting out right now. That's why the scripture read in Proverbs said, wisdom crieth without, she uttered her voice in the streets. Real soon, that's going to be cut off. So that's what that's talking about in Ecclesiastes. Read it again.
While the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble.
Right, when the days and the keepers in the house, they are trembling. And what are they using? They're using the fear and the guise of terrorism to basically have you people affrighted. It's the guise of terrorism that has you people affrighted right now. That's the buzzword. The boogeyman is a terrorist. And the thing is, anybody can be a terrorist. It's not just limited to the Arabs, which that's public enemy number one. Average American citizens are basically terrorists now. Right.
And the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease.
Right, and the grinding is ceasing. That's why in Detroit right now, there's the whole city is cut off. Speak with it.
Yeah, like the elder was saying, yeah, Detroit is all messed up. It ain't no work out there. That's why you can get a house for $50 out there. And I was telling somebody that, man, you can get a house for $50 in Detroit, and they got all excited talking about they should move to Detroit. Like, that's yeah. Why the hell you think everything is so cheap out there, man? I know. Before they was doing this gentrification in a lot of you niggas' neighborhoods, before they was gentrifying your neighborhoods, the rent was low back then, right? But since they started building these condos and gentrifying the neighborhood, the price of everything went up.
All right,
so everything in Detroit sunk. Everything went down, man. You wouldn't want to live out there. There's no work out there. Shit it's pure madness, man. And that's just an example of what's coming to the rest of these major cities in America, man. Pretty soon it's gonna be like that in New York. Pretty soon it's gonna be like that in LA, Chicago, all the major cities in
Sacramento's feeling it.
In America.
Sacramento's feeling it too. Right. Where you got the homeless, the jobless rate out there. People are living in them tent cities in Sacramento. You can see that all on YouTube. All of the news footage on that. Schwarzenegger actually went down to some of them tent cities in Sacramento. They allotted a certain area for people to stay that don't have a home. But then they're like, look, you got to get out of here now too. They got a certain area sectioned off where people are set up with tents, tent cities, and then they're telling them, well, look, you got to move from here now. So it's people are feeling it, man. You got people that are living outside of it. People that bought those what you call a camper or a Winnebago. You know, like you can have a van. You can have a van, one of the big size vans, not a minivan, but one of the big size vans like that, something like that, like something big like that right there, to pull one of those like overnight trailers, one of those trailers like you go to a campground and you park it and then you can plug it in, get the electricity in it, and you sleep in there at night, and then you might go out and go fishing, shit like that. There's people that sold their homes, or they took their money from their mortgage and bought one of them, and they just got out the house, left the house, and they basically living inside of that. And they ride around at night from place to place, finding a place just to park at night so they can sleep, because city ordinances, you can't sleep in your car on the street. If you have no apartment, you sleeping in your car, right? Your car's parked, you're sleeping in the car, you're not bothering nobody, you're not causing a disturbance. Just like that car is parked right there, you can be given issued a summons or locked up in jail because you're sleeping in your fucking car on the city street.
Yo car.
That's it. That's a city ordinance. You can't sleep in your motherfucking car outside. You sleep in your car, police gonna knock on your window. Don't you got a place to go? Give you a fucking ticket, give you a fine, and probably lock you up in motherfucking the Who's Gal. That's what's going on.
And the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened, and the doors shall be shut in the streets.
Right. The grinders cease because there are few, meaning the job. That's why the jobless rate is like what, 10.5, the national average, and it's got to be more than that by now. As far as in Detroit, the jobless rate got to be like 75%. Fuck that 10.5 or 20%. Because the whole damn city is damn near shut down. The whole city in Detroit is damn near fucking shut down. That whole area is shut down. There ain't no more people really producing anything out of there because they opened plants in Canada and other places where it's cheaper, where the labor is cheaper and it's cheaper to pay people. So Detroit is basically shut down. The grinding is ceasing because they are few. Companies have been leaving the United States, hell, since like fucking since like the 80s. Companies that were in Connecticut, here in New York, Jersey, all over the place. You got companies that left Connecticut and went to Jersey, or left New York and went to Jersey. Then eventually they left Jersey and went down south. Then they left from down south and just went overseas. Went to, or they left and they went to Mexico where it's cheaper. Or they went to Costa Rica where it's cheaper for the labor. All these companies have been doing that. And as a matter of fact, one time I was speaking, I was saying about the movie Rush Hour 3. It's actually Rush Hour 2 that shows about the free trade agreement. When they signed that, then you had the corporations basically packing up shop and going overseas with their companies. It was actually the movie Rush Hour 2 that showed you that, not Rush Hour 3. Just to make a correction on that. All right, go ahead. Read it again.
And the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low.
Meaning what? Jobs. People going, are you hiring? You don't really see signs up like that no more that people are hiring. You know what they tell you now? Apply online. Yeah. So you have to get online and go and sign an application online. You go online and you sign your application, and then you might get an interview. If you're lucky, you might get an interview. And if you're doubly lucky, you might get hired. But more likely, you ain't getting hired. A lot of companies, what they use now is disposable labor, which is temps. They go through temp agencies because when you're through a temp agency, they don't have to pay for no insurance. They don't have to pay for your insurance, and you're not a regular scheduled employee. They don't have to invent shit just to keep you busy. You don't get no vacation pay. You don't. You only get time and a half once you put in 40 hours. Then after that, you'll get time and a half through a temp agency. You don't get holiday pay with like double time. You don't get those perks or none of that shit, double time or triple time. You work on a holiday. So they deal with disposable a disposable workforce basically. And then they're paying you peanuts because the temp agency, if the temp agency is paying you $10, they're probably getting about maybe $20, $25 an hour for you, because they go through the process of screening you and making sure that legitimate enough to work at that business.